made of jackfruit seeds. So I've washed the seeds really well and dried them. And now I'm going to pressure cook them for 3 whistles on high and simmer them for 10 minutes. Once they are come to room temperature, we're just going to peel them. Now you can peel them either in this way, or I'll show you an easier way. You can just take a knife and just slit the peel like this, and then the peel just comes off much easier. So just take off the outer peel, which is very hard and rubbery. The inside will be white, as well as you'll have some kind of a brown skin. Keep that, retain that. And this is how it will look. So in this way, just peel all of them. You can even cut them if you're not used to cutting it with the knife directly. Just cut it on a board. It is a little slippery, let me warn you. So just keep your hands very dry, and you can see the peel comes off very easily. So in this way, I have peeled all of the jackfruit seeds, and now I'm just going to cut them into medium-sized bites like this. So if you ask me what the texture of this is, it's more like a boiled potato. The texture, the taste is very different, but the texture is like, boiled potato. So I'm just going to chop them up roughly like this into smaller, medium-sized cubes. So I get almost a 3/4 of a bowl. And now let's see what other ingredients we require. Very few ingredients. So this is half a cup of freshly grated coconut. Here I have 1/2 inch of ginger and just 2 cloves of garlic that I've chopped fine. 1 green chili chopped fine. 1/4 cup of fresh coriander chopped fine. This is 1/2 teaspoon of jaggery and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper powder, cumin powder, coriander powder and haldi powder. Some salt to taste. That's all we require for this recipe. So let's start with the recipe. So now I'm going to add my coconut to the jar, and I'm just going to retain about 2 teaspoons for garnish. Then I'm also going to add the ginger, the garlic and the green chili. And I'm going to add 1/2 of the fresh coriander. I'm going to leave 1/2 of the coriander for garnish again. And I'm going to grind this to a very coarse paste. You don't need to add any water. So we're just going to grind this to a paste that looks like this, a very coarse paste. So now I'm going to heat about 2 teaspoons of oil to my pan. So let the oil heat up. We want the oil to be nice and hot. We're going to be cooking on a low to medium flame. Now once the oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add this ground paste to the oil. And we're going to fry the paste well for about 1/2 minute. Now once our coconut is nicely fried, we're going to add all the powder masalas. So like I said, there was pepper powder, cumin powder, coriander powder and haldi powder. And we're going to fry all of this really, really well. Now these are all homemade powders. I do them at home. I just roast the coriander, make a powder, roast the cumin. So now I'm adding 1/4 cup of water. And again, we're going to mix all of the ingredients really well. And at this point, you'll now get the beautiful aroma of the fried coconut as well as the spices. So we're going to fry this also for another 1/2 minute. Now we're going to add some salt to taste. And we're going to add the jaggery. Now we're going to mix this mixture till the jaggery melts. So continuously stir this and the jaggery will eventually melt. So I like to grate my jaggery, that makes it easier. And once your jaggery is completely melted into the mixture, we're going to add this chopped jackfruit seeds. And now we're going to mix everything so well so that the flavor of all of this bagar, goes and coats the jackfruit seed pieces really well. And we're going to fry this for about at least a whole minute or 2 minutes till everything comes together really nicely. So we're not going to cover and cook this because this is a kind of a dry dish, so we don't want a lot of moisture in this dish. So cook it for about 2 minutes till everything comes together really well, and then turn off the heat and then just garnish it with your chopped up coriander and your grated coconut. And our lovely Goan jackfruit seed Sukhe is all ready. You can have it all by itself. That's the way I like to have it. Or you can have it with some sheet kori or with some sorak and rice or some dal and rice or some chapatis and puris also. This dish is very versatile. So enjoy the recipe. Now let me take you through the ingredients. So here I have half a cup of chana dal, which I've soaked in 1 cup of water for 2 hours after washing it well under water. Now this is 1 cup of grated goa jaggery. Now this is how it looks for those of you who are not familiar with the goa jaggery. It comes in little pyramids like this. And it's really has a very different taste and it's really delicious. Now here I'm going to use about 10 jackfruit leaves for the quantity that I'm making. Now you have to wash the leaves really well and wipe them completely dry. And you have to also use very large leaves like this with a little bit of the stem. Aren't they lovely? Really fresh and nice. They come all the way from Goa, thanks to Nilesh and Deepa again. Now here I have 1 teaspoon of cardamom powder. So I've used about 5 small pods of cardamom. 1 cup freshly grated coconut. So those are our main ingredients. So now let's begin with the recipe. So after I soaked the dal for about 2 hours, I'm now going to cook the dal in about 2 cups of water for 15 minutes till the dal is nice and soft. So you can test it after 15 minutes and just check with a spoon. You should be able to easily mash up the dal like this. And now I'm just going to drain off all the excess water and keep it aside till it cools down. And then I'm just going to mash it up with my fingers because I want a kind of a coarse paste. I don't want a very fine smooth paste. So you don't need to run this through the mixer. And then just transfer it to a bowl and set it aside. Now we're going to do the filling. We're going to prepare the filling. So now I've taken a pan. I've just heated up the pan. Now to the pan, I'm going to be adding about half cup of water. That is room temperature water. To that, I'm going to add the grated goa jaggery. And we're just going to stir this on a low to medium flame till all of this jaggery just, melts. So just keep stirring it. It will start to bubble a bit like this. But ensure that all of the jaggery is nicely, dissolved. Sorry for the steam that's coming onto my camera lens. Now once all of the jaggery is nice and dissolved, we're going to add our freshly grated coconut. Mix the coconut in really well. And now we're going to add our mashed up chana dal. So the chana dal, what it does, it adds to the body of the mixture, the filling, and it also helps to thicken the mixture as well as adding to the lovely taste. And now we're going to mix all of this together. We just have one more ingredient to add to make this even more delicious. So mix all of this really well together. Now you can always make the filling a day before you plan to make the holles. And now we're just going to add this lovely cardamom powder, which gives it a lovely taste as well as a lovely aroma too. So now we're going to just cook this on a very low to medium flame till it starts to thicken. So you will see in about 5 or 7 minutes, the mixture starts to thicken, and now you can put the flame off and our mixture is ready. So you can just transfer this to a bowl and set it aside. So this is our lovely filling or mixture all ready. Now we're going to work on preparing these beautiful cones made out of this lovely jackfruit leaves. It's a super simple process. So let me just take you through them. So I prepared some cones in advance and I said I'll just keep about 4 leaves to show you all the procedure. So now ensure that there are no holes or anything in the leaf. The leaf is nice and thick and fresh. Now just take it in this manner. So take the one without the stem and just put it towards the stem. And then you're just going to insert a small toothpick or a matchstick, something just to seal this up. So what I did is I took toothpicks, I just broke them up into 2 halves, and that's our cone already. I'll just show you a few more. So you can even prepare these cones and keep them on a particular day. Keep them in the refrigerator so that they don't discolor. Prepare your filling on one day, and then we can just prepare the remaining, and you can have these lovely holles whenever you feel like. And these leaves are so easy to work with because they're nice and thick, so they don't tear and they don't break. I was just waiting to show you all this recipe. All I needed were the jackfruit leaves and the goa jaggery. So now all our leaves are nice, and all our cones rather are all nice and prepared. So now we can work on the rice paste. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add hot water. So to 1.5 cup of rice flour, it took me about 1 cup and a little more, about 2 or 3 tablespoons more of hot water. Now you're going to use hot water and we're going to mix this really well. First I mixed it with a spoon, but then I found using my fingers or my hands are much better, because then you can feel the texture and you can know whether you want to add more water. So you need this very thick kind of a paste. It should not be runny and it should not be too thick like a dough. Now in the meantime, I'm also preparing my steamer. So I filled it up with water and I've taken a damp kerchief, that is a men's handkerchief, just dampened it or wetted it under water, and I'm just placing it. I'm going to cover the lid and I'm going to keep it on a very low flame for about 5 minutes till the water in the steamer starts to boil and the steamer gets ready. So now we're going to line these cones. We're going to just wet our fingers a bit. It makes the work easier. Just dip your fingers in some water, regular temperature water, and we're going to apply the paste like this. So we don't want a very thick layer. We want a very thin layer. It's very easy to work with, guys. Don't worry. But just see that your paste is not very runny. If it is runny, then just add a little more of the rice flour and make your paste nice and thick like this. And then just apply it to a very, very thin layer to the sides like that, and just smoothen it out with your fingers. The water does help to smoothen it out, and that's it. It's all ready. Now we're just going to add a little. Now all the rice flour has been added, so we're just going to add this lovely jaggery and coconut filling. You can add as little or as much as you like. Don't add it right up to the top. Keep about a little space on the top, because we're going to seal it again with the rice paste, because we're looking for a cone shaped lovely steam cake. And now that just press the filling inside like this, and then just take a little bit of the paste again, wet your fingers, and then just apply it like this, and then just bring down the rest of the rice flour that's there and seal up the top of it so that the filling doesn't come out when we are steaming it. So I'll just show you one more, and also see that your steamer is ready. And then we're just going to place them on the steamer, on the cloth which we have dampened a bit in the steamer. Close the steamer up, and we're going to steam this for about 10 minutes and let the steamer cool completely before you open it. So here you can see that I'm placing it in my steamer, and I'm going to close up the steamer and keep it for 10 minutes. I always put a timer on my phone, that way I know that it's like 10 minutes. Then I keep it closed till it's nice and cool down. And here you can see the lovely holles are all ready. The color of the leaves have changed to a darker green. As you can see, the ones which are not steamed are light green, and once they are steamed, they change to a darker green color, or an olive green color rather. So in this way, they are all ready. Now they're nice and cool and I can handle them. They were very hot initially. And now you just have to remove the toothpick like this, or the matchstick, whatever you've added, and then just demold it like this. It comes off very, very easily. So this has no oil, nothing. It's steamed, so it's so delicious and made out of really nice ingredients. So guys, do try out this recipe. It's super easy and super delicious. And it's nice to have them nice and hot or warm. So if you're going to store them in your refrigerator, store them in an airtight container, and when you want to eat them, just heat them up in a steamer again or in your microwave. So I can see they easily come off. The leaf comes off very, very easily. Hi everyone, and welcome back to Akshata's recipes. Thank you so much for joining me today. So you already seen the name of the recipe, and this is made with one of my favorite fruits, summer fruits, which is ripe jackfruit. So I love mangoes, I love all the other summer fruits that come, love apples, and you name it. But sometimes, I love to eat jackfruit just as it is, but sometimes you have a lot of it and you don't know what to do with it. So why not make something like a cake? There's no eggs in it, there's no flour, there's no baking involved. It's super simple and it's super healthy also, because we're not using butter, we're not using oil, we're not using ghee, just very simple, healthy ingredients. So let's get started with today's recipe, and also watch the video till the end because I'll give you a few tips about the recipe. So let's jump straight ahead into today's lovely recipe. Guys, wasn't that really simple? Put everything into one pot and you're all ready to go. Now, a few tips about the recipe. So first of all, I'm using very fine semolina or rava, but you can also use dalia, which is broken wheat. You can use that. If you don't have either of the two, you can also supplement it with some rice flour. Just make the rice flour into a paste and then you add that. Or you can even soak Goa rice or normal rice and then make a paste of it and add that. So these are the different supplements that you can use in place of fine rava. Now if you have medium rava or thick rava, just grind it in a mixer till it becomes nice and fine for this recipe. Now other things are, there's coconut milk. So you can either make the coconut milk like I have shown you all in some of the videos, or you can even buy the ready-made coconut milk, the powder form that you get. Just put it into some hot water, whisk it, and you're ready for that. So these are all the easy ways of making this recipe really simple. Now I'm using cardamom powder. I've just taken 4 whole cardamoms, peeled them and ground them to a powder in my mortar and pestle. Or you can also use a little bit of vanilla essence if you don't have cardamom powder at home. And that's it. And steam this because it's a real healthy way of making this cake rather than baking it. Now if you don't have a steamer at home, what you need to do is you take a pressure pan or your cooker, fill it with water, put some kind of a stand. Normally you get a stand with every cooker, but otherwise you just put a steel stand, then put this the tin, a cake tin on top of it. Then you put your cooker lid and don't put the whistle, and steam this on high fire for about 30 minutes like you would with a normal steamer, that is if you don't have a steamer. So these are the few tips I just wanted to share with you, because to make this recipe easy and to supplement things. There are many questions is, I don't have this at home, so can I use this? So I've just given you all the alternatives, but if you still have more queries, you can write to me in the comment section below. So do try out this recipe and let me know in the comment section how you like it. It is a little different in taste, but it is good. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button by hitting the thumbs up icon that you see below the video. Also don't forget to subscribe to Akshata's recipes if you haven't already. And once you have subscribed, do click on the notification bell and click on all. That way whenever I put up a new recipe or a new video, you get a message for the same. So thank you so much for supporting my channel by watching my videos. It means the world to me. And I'll say bye. I'll catch you soon in my next video.